So there are basically two types of characteristics. One is static characteristics, other one is the dynamic characteristics. So what is the static characteristics? So usually whenever you are giving any input or if there is a change in the input value, now the sensor, the transducer or a measuring device should show a corresponding change in the output. Now when you see the readings, when you change the input value, instantaneously it will not give one single value as the output. So there will be some fluctuations in the output value. Then after a small time, you will see that it is coming to one single value. Now static characteristics are those which you are measuring when the system is having one single fixed value and it is not changing. And the input has to remain constant. So input is constant. The output value is not having any fluctuations. That characteristics are called as the static characteristics. The next one is the dynamic characteristics. So dynamic characteristics are also called as the transient characteristics. That means during the initial period when you have changed the input, before the value stabilizes, whatever the performance of the system is there, that is called as the dynamic characteristics. So these are the two main characteristics of any sensor, or it can be of a transducer, or it can be of a measuring device. So first we will be discussing the static characteristics. So among the static characteristics, the first one is the range. So range of a transducer, sensor or measuring instrument, it will be the values in which you can use a particular instrument or a device. So a sensor may have a range of say 0 to 100 degrees centigrade if it is a thermometer, or 0 to 25 volts if it is a voltmeter. If it is a force measuring device, it may be say from 50 to 500 kilonewtons. So like that, it will be having certain range. Now what is this span? Now span is the difference of the maximum value that a sensor can detect and the minimum value the sensor can detect. For example, if a sensor has a range of say some 0 to 100, then the span is 100. If the sensor is having a range of 100 to 200, then also the span is 100. So a sensor can have different ranges, but it can have the same span. So that is a range and span. Next one is error. So error is one of the most important characteristic we have to always consider with respect to the output values we are measuring. So what is error? So difference between the, actually we say that as a true value. What exactly is the value that we are supplying and how it is measured. For example, you are having a you know that the size of some particular object is exactly 1 meter, you know that. And you are bringing it to a sensor or you are giving it to an instrument and it is showing as 999 millimeter. Then the true value is 1 meter. The indicated value or the measured value is 999 millimeter. So the error will be 1 millimeter will be the error. So you should know the true value, what exactly is the value you are giving it. Then how much the instrument is measuring, that is difference will be the error. Now what is accuracy? How close the measured value is there with respect to the true value. So accuracy can be specified in terms of percentage of the value that is measured, or it may be in some terms direct values. We will say that the accuracy will be plus or minus 0.1. Like that we can specify. For example, you are having a sensor which is measuring the voltage. And if we say that the accuracy is plus or minus 0.01 units, we will not consider the units. It may be plus or minus 0.01. Now the meaning is, if the instrument or the sensor is showing a value of say 10, the actual value can be 10 plus or minus 0.1. So it can be 10.01 or it can be 9.99 or it can be any value in between this. So that is the meaning of this accuracy. So if you are having higher and higher accurate instruments, means you are going to get the very value which is very closer and closer to the actual value or the true value. Have you understood? So even though the instrument says some value, that will not be the actual true value. So it will be having certain range. Within that particular range, the value will be existing. So that is the meaning of accuracy. Now what is precision? Precision is usually a combination of the two other characteristics, which are accuracy and the repeatability. So we'll see what is repeatability. So you are having the repeatability here. So if you are having a particular reading, say for example, you are trying to measure a particular dimension or a particular voltage or a particular current. You are taking the reading repeatedly. So how close the values are coming, that will give a measure of repeatability of that particular instrument. So then you are having the accuracy. So we'll see from this figure. So whatever the central value is there, that is what is the your required value. So if you are taking this as the x-axis and this is the y-axis and you are pointing the input and output values, you are getting some values over here. Now that will be called as a highly accurate and highly precise. So you can see here, all the values are within very close range of the measured value or required value. So we will say that it is highly accurate and highly precise. So highly accurate means all the values you have taken, maybe 5 values, 10 values, they are having very small difference between them and they are very close to the actual value. Now, if you say this condition, we will say that it is having pure accuracy, but it is having high precision. Why we call high precision? Because even though you are making 5 or 6 repeated measurements or repeated values you are getting, they are all very close to one another. So we will say that it is precise, but it is not close to the true value. So there is a lot of difference between the values you got and the true value. So we will say that accuracy is poor, but the readings are very precise. So if you are having an instrument like this, then what you can do? So you know that even though you are making hundreds of measurements, you are all getting them very close to the actual value. So you can say that whatever value I am getting, I will say I will reduce 2 units or I will reduce some 3 units. So like that we can implement some correction and we can continue to use that particular device. If it is like this, there is no need for any correction. Now the next one is good accuracy, but you are having poor precision. Now why do you call it as good accuracy? Because this is the value you want. You are getting values very close to it. You are getting all the values very close to it. Now why we call it as poor precision? We call it as poor precision because all the values if you are seeing, they are quietly apart from one another. So we will say that the precision is poor, but the accuracy is very, very good. The last one is poor accuracy and poor precision. So there is no accuracy and there is no precision. These two cases are not very desirable. The last case is absolutely not desirable. Even if you are having a good average accuracy, what you can do is you can make 4 or 5 individual readings. You can find out their average and that one you can use as the final reading. So if you are having an instrument or a device which is giving output like this, then what you have to do is you have to definitely take 4 or 5 individual readings and then you have to average them out. That value you have to consider it as a measured value. If in this case you can measure only one value, that value itself will be accurate. If this is the case, we can take only one value and you have to use the correction factor so that you are shifting this value from somewhere away and very close to the actual value. But if you are having like this, you have to compulsorily take 4 or 5 different readings and you have to take their average. If this is the case, if it is having poor accuracy and poor precision, then that device you have to simply discard because it is not going to give you a correct value all the time. So that is very dangerous. That is a precision. So precision is a combination of accuracy as well as the repeatability. So there is something called as reproducibility. One is repeatability, means same reading you are measuring again and again and you are seeing how much variations are there. That is the repeatability. Now what is reproducibility? So reproducibility is that characteristic which is obtained by taking the same measurement at different points of time. So in the repeatability, you are using the same operator, same instrument, same location, same environmental conditions, everything is same. Only you are taking the n number of readings. But in case of the reproducibility, you are changing lot of factors. So you may be changing the operator, you may be changing, you are going to different locations and you are going to check. So you are using the same instrument will be same. The device also, whatever you are measuring, that also will be same. But you are varying the environmental conditions to some extent. You are changing the operator who is doing the measurement. So you are making certain variations. So you are going to see over a period of time how exactly the measured value you are achieving. So that will give an indication of what are the chances of errors that can come into the measurement process. Because in the normal operation, the same operator will not be making the measurements. So different people will be coming and taking out the measurements, or different people will be using those same sensors or transducers. So you want to cancel out all the variations that are coming from all these things. So you are using a parameter called as reproducibility. So the next parameter is the sensitivity. Sensitivity. Now what is the sensitivity? Sensitivity is actually measured by the ratio of the change in output to the change in input. So you are making a small change in the input value. So correspondingly, how much of the output is changing. So they should be slightly in terms of proportionate, it should be there. So you are making very, very small change in the input. it should not cause abnormal or heavy changes in the output. For example, we'll take the example of the automobile. You are having the acceleration pedal. So if you are just slightly pressing the acceleration pedal, if the speed increases to say 200 kilometers per hour, then what will happen? You will simply end up in many accidents. So the sensitivity of the instrument is very, very important. Maybe some locations you may require that, but generally speaking, whatever the input change in input value you are giving, that should be in some proportion to the change in output value over the entire range. It should not happen that at some locations it is very sensitive, at some locations it is not very sensitive. Then handling that particular instrument will become very, very difficult. So sensitivity is measured by change in the output for a given change in the input. So that is the sensitivity. Okay, next one is the readability. Readability of a measuring instrument or it may be a sensor is how easily it is possible to read the output of that particular device. So you are having an ordinary vernier caliper, you are making the measurement, then you have to see what is the coinciding marks, and then you have to do some calculations and you are going to get the measured value. Now if you are having a digital vernier caliper, then what happens? You make the measurement, instantaneously you are seeing what is the value of the reading you have taken. So between the conventional and the digital one, which is more readable, we will say that the digital one is more readable. Now same is the case with the deflection. If you are having a pointer, now if you are having a pointer, then you have to see where exactly it is stopping. If it is stopping between two lines, then again you are having some problem with accuracy and other things. Then if you are having a pointer, then you are always having an issue of parallax error. So it is dependent on the angle at which you are viewing it. So there are a lot of chances of other errors which can come into the value that you are trying to measure. The readability of the instrument, or it may be the sensor or the transducer, will say that how easily it is possible to read or take the understand what it is, what output it is giving. That is the readability. Next one is the resolution. It is the smallest value that can be detected by that particular instrument or maybe the device. So if you are taking the voltmeter, so if, what is the resolution? So resolution will say that it is 0.1 volts, which means it can detect 0.1 volt. Next it will detect 0.2 volt. Next it will detect 0.3 volts. In between it is not possible to detect. So if you are taking your camera, we will say that the resolution of the camera is say 8 megapixels, which means in the given range, in a small box of say 360 by 480 in that particular range, you are going to have 8 megapixels. So many number of small dots you are able to read, which means you are having much better clarity of the image even though you are zooming. So as the resolution increases, the amount of data that is present or that is created is also going to increase. You have to have more and more accurate systems. It is not a good thing that you are having very high, very small resolution, but the accuracy is very, very poor. Then your system is not going to function in a very efficient manner. So usually the accuracy should be half of the resolution. So if your resolution is say 0.1 volts, then the accuracy should be half of it. So by 2, 0.1 divided by 2 will say that the accuracy should be plus or minus 0.05. If it is more than that, then even though you are having very small resolution, the instrument is not going to have any usage. So you are simply wasting the money going to buy very high resolution because the accuracy factor is going to cancel out whatever the advantage you are going to get. So you have to always see what is the resolution and what is the accuracy of that particular device. Combinedly, you will know what is the performance or what is the capability of that particular instrument. So you should not have a device which is having a resolution of say 0.1 volt, but its accuracy value is plus or minus 1 volt. Then that is completely more or less useless. So you have to always see resolution and accuracy together.